Shalom, Kal Halal Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Bashem Kakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us His truth. The Shalom and salutations to all the brothers that push the word of truth and in sincerity. Back with the WW3 Daily Update. The Shalom and salutations to you all. All right, and let's get a quick precept. Let's see. Let's just go to Revelation real quick because World War III is here. All right. Even though they haven't declared it, the Pope declared it, but I'm not sure that's an actual declaration. Okay, so Revelation 11 and 14, the second woe has passed. Behold, the third woe is coming shortly. Second woe is World War II. The third woe that's coming shortly is already here. It just hasn't been declared as the Third World War yet. But if we go here and type this in, Pope declares, see how it just pops right up? Pope declares World War III. One day ago, Daily Mail, Pope declares mankind is experiencing the outbreak of World War III. All right, and that's all we'll do there, just to show, right? What does it say? Pope declares. How does this guy get to declare a damn thing? Pope Francis, World War III has been declared. All right? So that's just letting you know. Now we'll go over here to this kook, Paul, of Off Grid Desert Farming with Paul and Adrian. This is live right now, but I'm going to start it somewhere at the beginning and we'll listen to a little bit of this and we'll go ahead and close. Just a little update because Ukraine, let's see, breaking news, Ukraine's counteroffensive fails. All right, so they launched a counteroffensive, that's huge, a couple of days ago. And then Biden incites what war? This is part of World War III, is the civil war in Babylon the Great. Biden incites civil war against MAGA supporters. This is all huge. So wars on many fronts. You got Eastern Europe. You got South China Sea. You got the Korean Peninsula. You got the Valley of Yehoshaphat, which is the Middle East. And you have the civil war going on right here in Babylon the Great. All right, so let's listen to this.
Right here today. We're going to go ahead and get to the news. A lot of breaking things in the news that everybody probably has heard about or seen. The speech that Joe Biden did, I guess it was yesterday, and a lot of people are upset and a lot of people are happy. So it all depends on which side of the political aisle that you are on. So let me just show you, we're going to cover this really briefly this morning. This is from AP News, but it says Biden sounds newly strong alarm. Trumpism menaces democracy. So I'm just going to read a little bit about this. You can see he looks pretty angry there, folks. Probably more angry than I've seen him in a while. At least he's not licking on an ice cream cone. A little bit of life left in him. And what was so dramatic about this speech is that his background was in blood red, and there was a lot of commentary on why he chose the red theme behind him. So let's just read a little.
He didn't choose it. It was chosen for him. So the point about this civil war, right, it's distracting from World War III. It's all part and parcel of the same thing. But what we're looking at here is what God is doing, what Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is doing. Okay? Because his main target is Babylon the Great. Okay? And he's going to use Russia to take down Babylon the Great. Russia and its allies, but the larger picture, right, pursuant to Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, right, Ezekiel Slovakia, Russia, the Medes are going to take down the Babylonians, which are the Americans. And the infrastructure has to be weakened, which is the Civil War taking place. So this is just as significant as whatever is going on over in Eastern Russia right now.
That President Joe Biden charged in primetime address that the extreme ideology of Donald Trump and his adherents threaten the very foundation of our republic, as he summoned Americans of all stripes to help counter what he stretched as dark forces within the Republican Party trying to subvert democracy. In his speech Thursday, yesterday at Philadelphia's Independence Hall, Biden unleashed the trappings of the presidency in an unusually strong and sweeping indictment of Trump, and what he said has become a dominant strain of the opposition party. His broadside came barely 2 months before Americans head to the polls in a bitterly contested midterm elections that Biden calls a crossroads for the nation. Too much of what is happening in our country is not normal, he said before the audience of hundreds, raising his voice over pro-Trump hecklers outside the building where the nation's founding was debated. He said he wasn't condemning the 74 million people who voted for Trump in 2020, but he added there's no question that the Republican Party is dominated by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans using the acronym for Trump's Make America Great Again slogan. The explicit effort by Biden to marginalize Trump and his followers marks a strong recent turn for the president, who preached his desire to bring about national unity in his inaugural address.
Okay, so this is dealing with the Civil War. He started with this. I didn't quite know, because this is live right now. I want to get to the offensive, the counteroffensive that is not working. So let me skip around and try to find it. Bear with me.
You know, like I said, the only way for our nation and our country and our world to go back to normal is when Jesus Christ comes back.
Okay, now, I don't know. He's talking about Jesus Christ.
And I trust a politician just about as far as I trust a used car salesman. I don't care what they promise you.
Let's skip up to here. 7
speedboats and these 2 barges, which carried about 300 by water. Let me see if I can even find it. I had it here at one point. Also, the IEA nuclear inspectors from
IAEA. Okay. International Atomic Energy Association, I believe, which goes into the whole atomic or the nuclear plant that they want to blow up to get this war started in earnest. Okay, so here we are at the part of whatever is going on in Eastern Europe, which is, not going anywhere. It's going to ignite this thing. And we'll watch a little bit of this. We'll get a couple of precepts and go ahead and close.
United Nations has successfully entered Ukraine and are completing their inspection of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. And Ukraine had the audacity to launch an operation to try to take that over, folks. I'm going to read you all these articles. Why don't we just maybe start with that, if I can find the article. That let me see if I can even find it. I had it here at one point. But anyway, we'll have to just go through here. Ukraine had launched some 320 special forces that tried to land by water around the nuclear power plant, 320 special forces. Most of them were on 2 barges, and there were 8 British officers with them. Now, these special forces were recently trained in the United Kingdom by British special forces. There were 7 speedboats and these 2 barges, which carried about 320 special forces. They were trying to take over the Zaporizhzhia power plant while the UN inspectors were inspecting it. Russia sunk both of the barges, killed everybody except for like 3 soldiers. So the entire special forces of 320 plus the 8 British officers were killed. I think there's only like 3 survivors out of the whole deal, while the UN inspectors were inspecting the nuclear power plant. If I can find the article, we'll read that article. So let's get to the other article talking about the losses of the Ukrainian military. Just in the last 3 days, Kiev's last card in Kharkov, 9,000 Ukrainians counterattack with heavy firepower. Russians pulverize Ukrainian forces. Now, this is Russia's biggest gun. It is a TOS. And this gun can shoot long range and even shoot nuclear warheads or shells. So let me read you a little bit about Kharkiv is living through the worst hours since the start of the war in Ukraine, as the Ukrainian army has gathered a lot of firepower in order to carry out a counterattack. The Ukrainian seems to be playing their last card in Kharkov as well as Nikolaev. An inferno has been raging the last 48 hours. The Russians are shelling Ukrainian positions the length and the breadth of Kharkiv in an attempt to prevent the counterattack. Earlier, Denis Pushkin, head of the People's Republic of Donetsk, in fact, Denis Pushkin confirms to War News 24/7 that the Russian army is moving towards the total dissolution of the Ukrainian state, not only in Kharkov, but in Odessa and Transnistria. So the Ukrainian forces have assembled another 9,000, and they're going to attack another area, it does look like. So let me get to another article. I want to show you the losses if I can get this up on the screen for you. I have a lot of information, so it does take time to get this all on the screen for you guys. So give me just a second here. So this is what has happened just in the last 24 hours, 48 hours. Counterattack has been extinguished. Fiery inferno in Cross from Mocha, death tunnel, tragic death for 200 Ukrainians by the TOS-1. 3 tank battalions are lost. A fiery inferno has broken out in the Kherson region, with Ukrainian forces trapped in the Suki, Stavok, and Krostomka area, being burned alive by the TOS incendiary bomb. The Russians confirmed the scenario of the ambush and their entrapment in the tunnel of death, as first revealed by War News 24/7. The Russians reported at least 2 companies lost in these areas, with a Ukrainian 28 motorized brigade suffering heavy casualties. Russian military sources speak of scenes of the apocalypse in the Kherson region. They specifically mentioned, thanks to the Russian heavy artillery systems, an attempt to counterattack by the Ukrainian troops was foiled. As soon as the Ukrainian military tried to take positions for the attack, they were successfully hit by multiple mortars and the heavy TOS-1 systems. So let me go on down. We have a lot of articles. The Russian army repelled the Ukrainian counterattack. All
right, that's good enough. So we see what's going on. More of the same. Russia, if you understand, Russia is being propelled by the one you know as God. All right? So they're not going to be stopped. Okay? Because it's God's plan to have the Russians win. All right? Let's get Ezekiel. Even though the Most High, Yahweh Shemel Shai, who you ignorantly call God, is against the Russians, he's still going to use them to fulfill his purpose. All right, this is Ezekiel 38:1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog. All right. Gog is talking about the Medes, the Russians, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. Now, even though he's against them, he's using them for his purposes. This is his purpose. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, right? I'm going to turn you back to that old Soviet Union spirit. I'm going to make you gather up your old allies, the USSR, and we'll bring thee forth. What does it mean, bring thee forth? Bring your army out, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them will. I'm going to bring your army out. Then I'm going to put you together. Here's your allies: Persia, Iran, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer, Syria, Slovakia, Gomer, Turkey, and all his bands. The house of Togarma, Syria, of the north quarters, and all of his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared. This is what God is doing with Russia. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto. He's going to guard all of these. Russia is on the side of all of these. Okay, so when you go to this guy here, who goes into this, where's he at? This guy, Military and Foreign Affairs Network. You go to his page, right? Military and Foreign Affairs Network. He's detailing the battle that's going on in Ethiopia. Okay? Now, what kind of tanks are these? You know these are Russian tanks. The Russians are being guard, okay, unto the Ethiopians. And you can keep up with this guy's analysis of these particular wars. Okay? Now you know these Ethiopians are carrying Kalashnikovs, right, which is what they call an AK, that comes out of Russia. And these tanks, so they're being thou a guard unto them in these different areas. All right? So basically, this is prophecy jumping off the page. All right? And this was what we're watching. And we're going to continue to watch and continue to update. So this concludes the World War III Daily Update for today and for the week. And we'll see you on Monday. We hope that the elect were edified. You brothers and sisters, with that, we're going to say shalom.